started this club as a football player, not as a football club owner. And we were a six-a-side club around 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. And in 5 years, we have come a really long way. And I would only say there's one reason behind it is just passion. So passion will get you where money can't. Passion will get you where there are obstacles on your way. If you actually are in love with something, nothing can stop you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Sir, if you could please excuse me for a moment, I would request all the spectators to kindly switch off their microphones. I can see a few spectators. I don't want to take any names. I can see a few spectators whose microphones are not switched off. As a result, we are having some background noise. And I would request Shoham or Shubham, if you can please switch the microphones off. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Is it okay now, sir?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, we are going to start today's topics. And the first question might be a bit of a, I don't think so most of the people who are in this chat would be knowing this. So something outstanding happened and something historic happened between 2016 and 2018. That is, Real Madrid created history by winning a hat-trick of Champions League titles. But something that not many know and not might be keeping track of, even the people who follow Indian football with their heart and soul, that is Minerva Punjab Football Academy won a hat-trick of Nike Premier Cups. Along with that, they were also triumphant in the under 13 and the under 18 I leagues around the same time, I think. So, sir, when you started this club, was this a part of your plan, such a humongous achievement, or was it something that happened organically?
In fact, let me clarify one more thing. We didn't win it 3 times in a row. We won it 4 times in a row. So in 2015-16, when we were in the second division, we won it that year as well. And all 3 years we have been in the I League, we have been champions of 15. So 4 years in a row we won it. In fact, from the very first year, see, in the under 15s, it's not that you can play with the same team every year. Every year the team is different because under 15s go on to the next age group. So to scout a team every single time and make sure they are good enough just shows and proves to the world that you do not require a great lot of money to be producing champion teams. You require the correct type of training and the diet and nutrition and the ways to approach football. And it doesn't matter how small you are, you can, in football is a game where you can have wild dreams and then you can go on and achieve them. The same way what Iceland did, they have a population of 300,000, 3 lakh की population. Same and the same way 3 lakh मैं लोगों को बार-बार कहता हूँ कि हमारे दिवाली के मेले पे 3 लाख लोग होते हैं. So it's something which I knew is very much possible, but I didn't know that we'll be able to get this tremendous, stupendous success, and the success will keep coming. Yes, we were champions of under 13, 15, and 18 in the same year, and we were also senior champions. So see, what the main thing was winning the seniors as well. Because earlier we were known as a junior academy and saying, okay, fine, they don't have money so that they can win the juniors. So juniors में पैसों की जरूरत नहीं होती है. But हमने prove करके दिखाया है कि seniors में भी पैसों की जरूरत नहीं होती है. Same way Aizwal ने prove करके दिखाया है. And Aizwal and we, both of us are leading examples along with Leicester City, what you can do when you have the backing of all the fans and the players and everything goes right for you.
Yeah, I'm sure, sir, that if we would have had betting in our country, the odds for Minerva to win that I League would have been something like 5,000-1.
Definitely.
So, sir, moving on, now that Minerva won't be playing senior football, when can we expect them back? And how do you plan to do that? Will you be back via I League second division route that you did in your first stint?
Yes. So see, the whole point is the point of not taking part in the I League this year was because I knew, first of all, Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, my two favorite clubs, they're not going to be taking part in the league. So if Mohun Bagan, East Bengal are not there, the 90% of charm of playing in the I League, 90% of the charm of playing in the I League is gone. Then on top of that, this year we were supposed to get 3 spaces in the in the AFC, and one of them was supposed to be given to an I League team. Whatever be the reason, it was given to an ISL club. So we lost even the AFC spots. Then there's going to be no promotion for the next 3 years. So spending money in a place where I know there is no promotion, but yes, you can be relegated. Relegation is there, but there's no promotion. Spending money there, there's no point. I rather spend money on the juniors where we know. See, I am just imagining if we have been able to do this without any support, without any financial backing, without any, actual real crores being put in like all other ISL teams are doing to the academies. Imagine if this team has the support and the budget of an I League club, which I can give my academy the budget of an I League club for the next 3 years at least. And just by 3 years of money, which is, if I put in, like, by the way, Dempo has done. Dempo has set a great example. Srinivas is a great friend of mine, and I think what he has done is brilliant. What he is insured for the rest of his life. Dempo will never have to spend money to get players from outside because they have a world class academy now. For 3 years, Dempo has not participated in the I League, but the amount of money they have saved, even 50% of that, I think he has spent on that academy, and it's a world class academy. So we need 100 Minervas. See, of our dreams of one is getting into the World Cup, the other is winning the World Cup. Winning the World Cup will happen when we have 100 Minervas or 100 Dempos who are doing exactly the same thing from the ages of 6, 7, 8, 9. And then your talent pool is so big that what Igor Stimac keeps on talking about, that मेरा talent pool नहीं है, talent pool नहीं है, talent pool ऐसी है.
I'm not sure, sir, when we will have 100 Minervas, but thank you for giving us the first Minerva. So moving on, sir, being the owner of the club, when you were the owner of Minerva Punjab Football Club, how did you manage to find the right balance between football and business? And which of the two is more important according to you?
See, business is something which is, for me, is also not a business. Whatever I do in my life, I had decided when I was in the corporate world till the age of 32, 33. I was doing things for business, that means for money. And I was a very unhappy person. I was not happy at all. After the age of 32, 33, 31, I started following my love. My love was the Indian Armed Forces. So I've started training the future of the Indian Armed Forces. So it's never my business, it's my love. The same thing, football has always been my love and my passion. So it was never a choice between the two things. I can never love one and not love the other. Armed forces will have its own space because that's obviously going to be primary and our love and our country. And the same love which is there in the armed forces basically transforms into the football field. So that is why, this question is asked, and that's why I can take it to this side. Why I decided I League titles is not going to make me happy anymore or not going to give me satisfaction. In the last 5 years, 4.5 years, we have won 7 I League titles and we have been runners up in two. I would call this season second, third, whatever, man. We were silverware was given this season, the senior I League season as well. But the point is, every year there'll be a different winner in the under 13, in the under 15, and the under 18. Yes, Minerva may win it 4 times in a row, doesn't matter. But every year there will be a different winner. So legacy is not by winning I League titles because every year there's a different legacy winner. Whereas legacy is making sure when you were there, I can guarantee all the people who are listening to me right now, when they were watching Indian football, when we were watching the World Cup together and the US match, and Jackson Singh scored that goal, I can bet my life on it. Everybody in this webinar right now has jumped out of their seats and celebrated with Jackson that goal for India. The same way the people who were watching the match against Argentina under 20 when Anwar Ali scored that 50-yard free kick and we won that match, everybody was celebrating. See, but if I win an I League title, I celebrate alone. Or maybe I celebrate with my team and I celebrate with, yes, my state of Punjab. But if Jackson Singh scores a goal for India or Anwar Ali scores a goal for India and India does something, I have 1.3 billion people celebrating with me. So my life, I rather dedicate my life to something which I can celebrate success with 1.3 billion people, and not sit at home and say, oh my God, I'm champion, and have a few lakh people supporting me in the state.
So those of our spectators that do not know, Jackson Singh is the only Indian to ever score in a football World Cup. He did it in the Under 17 World Cup in 2017, and he's a product of the Minerva Football Academy. So thank you for Jackson, sir. So, sir, staying on the topic of business, when we read articles such as these, that Ranjit Bajaj as a football entrepreneur created history when within 7 years of forming Minerva, winning several trophies along the way
5 years,
across
5 years.
5 years. Okay. So establishing Minerva, winning several trophies.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah. So winning several trophies. I can wait, sir. No issues. So, winning several trophies along the way, the club was sold off to a business house. A lot of clubs in our country have closed down in the last decade. They may be having the same problem that you have had, but they could not do what you did. So, what was the thought process behind it, and what made you do it? And, sir, if I could please request you to switch on, to put back your headphones on, because there is a lot of echo in this situation.
Okay, just one second.
Yeah, no issues, sir.
Okay, don't be silly. I need this. I don't know.
I would request our spectators to
Yeah.
kindly
Can,
maintain
can
silence.
you can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. No issues.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that, sir. Actually, because the
No,
program is
no,
being
no
recorded, there will
problem.
be. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no problem. No problem. No problem at all.
Okay, please
Just
go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
okay now. Yeah. Yeah. So can you get the question again?
Yeah, so what I was asking you basically is this, that in the last few years, we have seen several clubs in India close down. They might have been having the same issues that you were having, but all of them closed down or ceased to exist. You, on the other hand, did what no one could ever imagine. You sold your club to a corporate business house. So, like, how did you do that, and what was the thought process behind it?
See, the thought process when I started off the club, if you actually, the same way when you start. Hello?
Yeah, sir, I think so. There is a. He will be muted, don't worry. He.
Okay. Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. See, if you ever start off a club and you
Hello.
think that I am going to start off this club wanting to make money, or I want to get into football for making money, then it's the wrong sport, and it's the wrong thing to do, because but that's how I made sure that from the very beginning, we made sure that focused on the right things. We knew that we didn't have enough money to be a club who could go every year and buy the best players from the other teams. So we knew that most of our team, that means at least 50% of it, had to come from our own academy. And when we did that, within just 2 years, we had a conveyor belt of at least 40 to 40 to 50% of our boys coming from our academies. And those boys, in fact, because we gave them that chance, went on to do well for India. Now, if you only have buying clubs, that means clubs who buy players from other clubs, then it's a very bad business model unless you just want to keep on putting money into a hole. You need to be a producing club or selling club. That means if you are from the very beginning, you have a proper structure. That means you have your under 13s, 15s, and 18s. What you have done is you have made sure that whatever league you're playing in, your steady source of players will keep on coming, and you can add to them by getting one or two good buys from the market, and you can compete in any league. So instead of, and it's in fact it's the entrepreneurial side of this has come from the fact that never started this club wanting to make money or even
Sir, can you hear me? I would request the audience to kindly keep their patience. I think Mr. Bajaj is having an issue with some technical things.
Sure, sure, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Trying to even think of profit because
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Can you hear me, Mr. Bajaj? So I would request our audience to please kindly have some patience. Mr. Bajaj has had some issues with his audio. He will be joining us very shortly. Meanwhile, I would like to tell everyone, I would like to remind our audience to keep sending their questions for the guests so that he can answer that at the end of the session during the audience interaction part. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to Indian football business, a growing industry brought to you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group. Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, or IUSM, is a leading India-based ISO 9001 2015 sports management company. Since its inception in 2007, we are working and contributing immensely for the development of the football scenario within the country. Also, we have come up with this webinar program, a first of its kind initiative in Indian football because of the ongoing situation that we all are in. And we are doing the soft launching of the Indian Football Business Awards now itself. And we will be holding the awards ceremony in Kolkata in the month of December in 2020. Thank you so much. And if you could please kindly wait for Mr. Bajaj to rejoin the session.
what is your ID then?
Yeah.
Can you connect to
Hello.
Bharat Bajaj?
Bharat Bajaj?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm giving him the access.
Yeah.
Just switch on his camera.
Yeah, camera switched. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see you. No issue. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. So I was when I was answering the questions about the football club and how it became into a business. See,
Yes,
if you
sir.
if you start off something and you try to make it into a club or like a business, and you say that I'm opening a football club and I want to make a profit out of it, you will never succeed. Or if you want to open a football club and I want to be national champions of India, that's not the way to succeed. Um, so what okay. So what we are wanting, the first thing which should be in the mind of the person is that, do you have passion for it? Do you have love for it? Will you go through this no matter what happens? That means even if you don't succeed, you'll have no problems. The whole world will work against you. The state will not support you. The federation will not support you. You will not get any sponsors. And are you still willing to go through everything and then come out with a smile on your face? If you're willing to do all that, then you should get into it. Because, see, everything has never been a smooth ride. We have never got any state sponsorship. We have never got any state help from any the state government. Like Mohun Bagan East Bengal gets a grant of over 3 crores a year from the West Bengal government. Real Kashmir gets a grant of 3 crores from the Kashmir government. Churchill Brothers from last year has got a grant of 2.5, 3 crores a year. So see, then you have to, on top of that, they are big settled clubs. They've got rich people running them. Then on top of that, they've got the government support. That means getting a stadium is no big deal for them. If you are able to then even still compete with them and do well, it's only because of passion. It's only because of love for the game. And I'm so sure that it's not me. Anyone who really loves the game and has passion for it can definitely did what I did if you stick on to it for long and you give it your all.
So, sir, I really like the part when you said that we cannot only be a buying club, we have to be a selling club. And that only happens during youth development. So, staying on the subject of youth development, sir, I would like to ask you that whenever we will see Minerva Punjab back in the senior football in the country, what are we to expect? Can we expect something like the Indian Arrows of an entire team of homegrown players?
See, bro, that's what I wanted to do this year. So a lot of people were asking me this, that we had announced that Minerva will play a totally under 23 team this time. But we were going to do that, and but Arrows came up, and then Arrows has taken 7 of our players on loan this year in the first team. So we couldn't actually go through with that plan because 7 main boys who we had thinking of playing, people like Vikash and people like Harni Pom, these boys would have been playing for us. But so the point was that yes, now what we have a chance that Arrows will also give them a chance. So that means they will get game time there, and we will be able to put more people in here and they'll get game time. So as many people who can get game time is great for Minerva. So more Minerva boys getting game time. Now, next, when we come up with it, it all depends on how far. See, second division, if I start playing, which we have, uh, the plan is totally to get back into the I League, but not by paying. My entire thing was I don't want to ever pay to get into the I League. If the whole thing was about paying and playing, then we should have been in the ISL already because we've been able to prove that we are good enough to beat even the best team in the ISL. It's about merit. So when merit is counted, that is the time when I want to go to the ISL. That means I should get into the I League in another 3 years, 2 years, because promotion will start then. So the plan is to.
Sir, your audio has been muted. If you could please switch it on.
Can you hear me
Yeah, it's
now?
fine. Yeah, it's fine now, sir. Go ahead.
To develop these youth, which I have now, which I've taken from all over India, 6, 7, 8 year olds. And then by the time they're 11, 12, in 2, 3 years, 10, 11, 12, they start playing in the 13 league. Those boys get into the 15 league after 1 year and 18 league. So it's a progress instead of just taking boys, making a team and putting it up. And for the second division, I already have so many Minerva boys who have been in the under 18 I League. Now they have become 19 or 20 who are not finding a chance. And in fact, not only here, all over India, we've got such brilliant talent who don't get chance. So getting that talent together, putting some of the juniors which we have who are good enough to be on that stage, plus supplementing it with players from all over who are not getting chances. Like for this year, nobody had thought, yes, Minerva used to give chances to youngsters. No, we give chances to anyone who deserves a chance. Like if Sanju Pradhan or Calvin Lobo had not got a chance or game time this year, they would have not got contracts this very year. Same way, unless you get game time, doesn't matter how good a player you are, you will not get more contracts. So that whole thing comes back to giving juniors as much chance, but juniors will also not learn unless you have a couple of seniors playing in that team, because they learn a lot. Juniors learn much more when they play with players who are more experienced and better than them than when they play with people who are of their age and as good as them.
I really think that more clubs should follow this way, sir. So, sir, since you come from a corporate background, what do you think about the running of some existing clubs in the country? Do you think that they need to revamp their setup in order to adjust to the this day and age?
They will have to now. I mean, earlier they had a choice whether they want to, see from the very beginning, financial fair play has to be there in football. Right now, also, no matter how much we say in I League that, um, it's an open league, it's not. There is no cap on expenditure, which Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, or when Bengaluru FC was playing in the I League, Bengaluru FC could spend. They could spend as much money as they wanted. In fact, in the ISL, at least there is a cap. In the I League, there is no cap. So, they used to go and do what? For example, Mohun Bagan. Mohun Bagan went and paid Sunny Node a salary of 3.5, 4 crore rupees a year. One pet player. The same year, when we won the I League, they paid 4 crores to Sunny Node. My entire budget for the year for running the senior I League was 1.4 crores. The entire team. And we won the I League. So you have to see where to spend that money. For example, if Mohun Bagan, instead of giving that 4 crores to Sunny Node, had put it up in a world-class academy, they would be getting, okay, not a Sunny Node, but at least a Shubho Ghosh every bloody year. They'll be getting a Shubho Ghosh who wins them those 5 matches because of which they're champions, not because of Sunny Node.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to tell you that I read a recent interview that you had with Goal India, and there you have mentioned that you want to prepare a batch for the 2034 World Cup. And in order to do that, you're scouting guys between the age of 6 to 10 years. Now, sir, I think so I can give myself the liberty of asking you this question because I also happen to be a AIFFD licensed coach. So I would like to ask you, sir, that World Cup qualifications in Asia generally start 3 years in advance. We all know that. So the World Cup qualifications will start in 2031 for 2034. So in 11 years' time, those guys that you want to select for your academy will be 17 to 21 years old. We have seen throughout the last 2 decades that Indian players do not peak that early. So in that regard, do you think that is a realistic expectation that those boys will give us a World Cup qualification?
Yes. Okay. So it's a great question, bro, because this question, I mean, I thought I'll get this question a lot earlier, but you've come up with this question. I think is brilliant. Why? Because see, that's how you actually looking at it. What this guy is doing, is it feasible? Is it possible? Okay. Now, how I look at it is that suppose you take a team, I mean, you and me, suppose you even, like I'm 40, how old are you, bro?
25.
25. Even I'm talking about a team who's taking 25-year-olds, or even if I take 18-year-olds, I'm talking about the current Indian Arrows side. Okay, if I take them, and I went and I say you are playing the under 19 of Arrows, of Barcelona. Or if I take you guys at 25-year-olds and tell them you're playing the Barcelona main team, okay? हमारी तो पहली फट जाएगी. हम तो पहली सोच रहे होंगे कितने गोल हमने खाने हैं और या कितने गोल बचाए हम. But suppose you take a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old, all 7-year-olds, and then you play them against Barcelona under 7s. These under 7s don't know anything about who Barcelona is.
They have not seen bloody Mueller scoring so many or Lewandowski scoring so many goals and thrashing the whole world or winning them Champions League. They don't know Messi. They don't know anybody. They take them on as face value. So it's all about belief. I'll give you an example. People keep on talking about a lot of things that Indians cannot do well because we don't have the genes. What genes? Power and stamina की genes नहीं है Indians के पास यार. That too. The only genes Indians have is power and stamina, man. A world championship, or you go to Commonwealth Games, or you go to Asian Games, any bloody games, even in Olympics. Nowadays, the medals we get either are in boxing, or in wrestling, or in weightlifting. Which bloody power and stamina genes are you talking about? And that is without any training. Then you say, okay, maybe in team games में problem आती है. ठीक है, बात समझता हूँ. India can only do well in cricket. Cricket is played by only 10 countries, and 3 of them are Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So we are being world champions. That no big deal. But no, we are doing well in hockey. Hockey is a team game. Okay, now look at the countries which are doing well in hockey. You've got Germany, you've got England, you got Spain, then you go to India, you got India, you get Japan, you get Australia. These are the countries which are doing well in hockey, but they are also doing well in football. So it's not that, and it's not, hockey is not their first sport. It's their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth sports. Even Argentina, by the way, does very well in hockey. So if these countries can do well in hockey, then they do well in football. Same way, Indians can do well in football and hockey. The only thing is the belief is not there. When the people don't understand in a football game, yes, it's about skill and it's about technique and it's about all that. End of the day, it's 11 versus 11 and there are no names. We have to get into the habit of believing in ourselves so much that we can compete with the world's best. So when an Indian hockey team, Sardar Singh getting onto the field, he will never think that, oh my God, I'm playing against the German team. He's going to say, oh my God, we're going to beat these guys today. I can bet you, for example, even our best footballers like a Sunil Chetri or Sandesh Jhingan going onto a field playing against Germany today, they will never think, oh, okay, we're going to beat these guys today. Never. That thought will never cross their mind because it's been born and brought up that way. So now when you come to 17 and 21, so every year my plan is to take these boys and boys of their age group in countries. So for suppose one year we have a tour of Germany and we play the junior teams of Leipzig or Hoffenheim or Bayern Munich, and we'll see how our under sevens do well against their under sevens and how much we are far behind or above or below. And those boys are playing those sevens. Then next year some other country, next year some other country, next year some other country. So those boys already from the age of 7 are in the belief that we compete with these fuckers on a daily basis and we beat them. The only reasons we've not been able to beat them is we've not played them enough. The moment we start playing them from a young age and getting that belief in ourselves, we are going to go a long way. It's just a start which is needed. We need the first Salah. Like in Egypt, we have Mohamed Salah. We need one Tendulkar in football. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
I'm sure it's going to happen, sir, and all football fans are looking ahead for that day. So moving on from the technical aspect of the game to a more serious aspect of the game in this country. So I would like to ask you 2 questions in that regard. One, after the club alliance was disbanded, do you feel you were waging a lone war against the federation? And number 2, because you were in the I-League even this year, how difficult is it to run an I-League club in this country?
To the first question first, yes. Something which I would count, next to all my titles, I-League titles, is for the first time in the history of Indian football in over 100 years, I was able to get Mohun Bagan and East Bengal on the same table, fighting for the same stuff. And that is one of my biggest victories. So when they were with me, these 2 teams were with me. We don't care about anything. These 2 guys were with me, the 2 clubs. We could have taken on the world and we could have beaten them. Nobody could have touched us. So they knew that the only way to break this alliance is make sure that Mohun Bagan and East Bengal do not support this alliance. Because without this alliance, we are just other clubs. Like clubs, they have killed off every single year. They kill off some clubs. Every year they've been killing off clubs. They don't matter. But they can't do that to Mohun Bagan East Bengal because that's Mohun Bagan East Bengal are bigger than AIFF, honestly speaking. So till that was happening, they knew that we had a fight on. But I knew that the moment these two clubs get out of the alliance, it'll be very, very tough. That's what happened. The whole alliance broke down in 2 days the moment these two clubs deserted the alliance. But see, they have a lot of other ways of looking at things, and unless you are walking in their shoes, you cannot blame them, or I mean, you can't go and say that they were selfish because they are looking after their own welfare and their fans. Yes, they should have held on a little bit longer. Maybe we could have achieved much more, but just because they held on for that long, I'm really thankful to them. Yes, and then on second part of the question about running an I-League club, oh my God, it's one of the toughest things to do. Especially, see, if you are running an I-League club just for the sake of running an I-League club and not bothered about the results and not bothered about what kind of development you do, then it's not very tough. You give your manager or a CEO a budget that this is your budget and this is what happens, just don't get relegated. So it's not very tough to do. But if you're actually wanting to fight a battle and you want to go for the title and you want to do it in a limited budget, then on top of that, if you actually want to fight for the rights of Indian football and Indian footballers, and that is a direct loggerheads, not only with All India Football Federation, but also with the big daddies, that means the ISL and Ambani's, it becomes kind of impossible. So what I've had, people don't know what I've had to face in the last 4.5 years, especially because every time I used to, people call me the Maverick because I, जो भी मैं बोलता हूँ दिल की बात बोलता हूँ because मेरा कोई सेंसर नहीं है, मेरे मुंह में सेंसर लगा ही नहीं है. So people say I'm moved, but I say it like it is, and what you see is what you get with me. You never see me talking behind a person's back because I talk on the person's face, and that's what they could not take. So things like every little thing which they used to do wrong, I used to point it out, and then they used to, something which has worked for them for over 60 years of running football in this country, that anyone says something against you, there are two ways to handle that person. One way is either you make him a vice president in AIFF, which they have done a lot of club owners earlier, and they've shut down. Or you fine him, or you ban him, or you trouble him so much that he just leaves football himself and goes. And they've done that to a lot of people as well. So they tried both these things with me, and they knew that it's something which they cannot get. Why? Because I am not doing it for profit. My ulterior motive and aim is my country. And when my ulterior motive and my aim is not my club and my country, and I'm always going to be fighting for that, you cannot be touched. But if you think you can run an I-League club on individual basis, even if you have hundreds of crores of rupees, like all the Goan clubs had, but if you do it on an individual name basis, it's very difficult because nobody will let you succeed.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful comments. I would just like to let our viewers know that you must please keep sending your questions so that we can ask them at the end of our show to Mr. Bajaj, and he will be answering all your questions. And I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome all the new people that are joining in this live session to Indian football business, a growing industry brought to you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Company. Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group, or IUSM, is a ISO 9001-2015 company. It is a leading Indian sports management company, and it has worked extensively towards the development of the sports scenario within the country. Also, I would like to let people know that we are doing the soft launching of the Indian Football Business Awards through this webinar session. And of course, the main award ceremony will be held in the month of December 2020 in Kolkata. Thank you so much for being with us. So, sir, moving on, I would like to ask you something from your early days, from your college life. When you were a college student in England, we have heard that you did do part-time jobs in several football leagues. So you had got a chance to see several English football clubs very closely. What do you think is the main difference in the culture between our football and their football? Where do the Indians lack?
See, in fact, I'll tell you, there is no lacking where Calcutta is concerned. What I saw in Calcutta, the culture I saw in Bengal, I saw in England. That means you are born into a club. You don't have a choice. So you are born into either Man U or Liverpool or this or that, whatever. And yes, if you, and you know, there, like here in India, kids or girls in India rebel by trying to go out with the guy their father does not like. In India, boys like to rebel against their father by going and have a nice night out and going out late or drinking or, you know, smoking up or whatever and rebelling against their parents. Abroad, you know what kind of rebelling is? Rebelling is, suppose my dad follows Man U and I start following Liverpool. And then that is known as the ultimate rebelling, okay? So this I saw happening nowhere except in Calcutta. So the culture there when I was in England, I was, you know, when your kids, you know, even if your parents are middle class, they're able to send you abroad, nobody can pay for your food and stay there. So all 6, 7 of us, we used to stay together in one little room. And all my friends used to work in McDonald's or something like that. And they used to get £4, 4 point something, £4, 4.20 an hour. At the same time, I had an opportunity to work as a steward. That means, you know, the guys who are sitting on the sides of the football matches in the fluorescent courts. And I was getting said, "Ready, you're getting £6 here, and yes, you just sit around and you walk, but you are able to see a Premier League match or a first division or a championship match, and they're paying you for it. Oh my God, there cannot be a better job than this in the world." So my work used to be working as a security guard in not Premier League club. They used to just send me to different matches all over, depending. One day I could be championship, one day I could be watching Premier League, one day I could be watching a 4th division match. So I saw the entire league, and I saw the passion for a 4th division team fan and for a Premier League team, for suppose you say the most passionate Liverpool, Man U, whoever, is not different. The guy in the 4th division supports his club with the same passion as the guy in the Premier division, and that's because he has that hope that one day my club will be champion here, will be in the 3rd division, 2nd Premier division, and I saw that hope goes down to the 5th division. Now in India, we don't have that culture. Why? Because right now there is no promotion and relegation. So I will, as a fan, if my local club is doing well, I will never totally, deeply, crazily fall in love with it. Why? Because I know it can never play in the top league, even if it becomes that good. So what's the point of following this club? Let me start select out of those 10 clubs who are playing in the ISL or top league. Let me select one club. Now, when you do that when you select a club to follow, that doesn't last long. You have to have the love for the club, and that only happens because of a certain reason. Either you're there or it's connected to you in some way, and you can't, you know, make people do that. So in India, the culture has to change at the age in all over India. I'm not talking about Calcutta and in Bengal, everywhere else. You have to start at the age of 6, 7, 8, because at the age of 12, 13, it's too late. And because at the age 12, 13, parents will not be involved. At the age of 5, 6, and 7, 90% of the times you see parents being deeply involved in that. When you have the whole family involved in something, that is the way you change the culture of something. You have to have the entire family taking part. And we've been trying to do that here in Punjab. It's a long process. Same way, a lot of things are happening all over India. And we'll get there. But getting there is not exclusive just to the fan culture. It's the entire culture of sports, the way sports is taken up. Sports is more taken up in India as a luxury, which is not. It's not a luxury. It's an essential service. People don't understand that. In England right now, in Germany, they are starting off the Bundesliga and calling it an essential service. Why? Because they're saying how come you're willing to kill people? He's saying we are willing to put the risk of people getting COVID-19 in Germany so that millions of German fans sitting at home can enjoy that football. They say that we have calculated in studies the joy of which football will give you in economic terms, in mental terms, and in the terms of the overall mental health of the country will be much, much more than the risk you're putting the footballers in. So imagine football is something which can bring you joy in this kind of a time. And once people understand that people are dying everywhere, but you show them football and they would love it. And they would, when you're watching a football match, you just forget about all your troubles, man, no matter who you are. And that's what you need to do in India. In India, this culture of sports and getting into sports is now getting accepted. But the more it's taken as a luxury, we'll never have that. It's not taken as a luxury. It should be taken as an essential service. In Spain, right now, Spain is one of the deadliest COVID hit countries. They are opening up everything there only for kids. Because I think the mental health of the kids is so important that we rather have them exposed to the virus than keeping them cooped up in a month for over a month. That's what they're saying. So they're saying the life is not important as much as the mental health. And that, how do you get that? From sports.
Thank you, sir. So being someone from Bengal and being a Mohun Bagan fan, I could definitely relate with a lot of things that you say. Sir, eyebrows were raised when you sold off your stakes in your club. So if at all selling your club was in your mind, don't you think that it would have been a better option to sell it when you were already I-League champions and the brand value would have been much better?
You're right. So if it was about selling the club at the highest value I could get, you're right. I should have sold it when we were I-League champions. But when I was I-League champions, my fight was there for making sure I-League is the top league of the country. I was champion of the top league of the country. And now when I'm selling the club, I am going to be playing in the second division of the country. There's a huge difference. Yes, the value has gone down drastically, but I was never in it for the value. I am talking about how much money I will save in the next 3 years. There is going to be no promotion in the I-League. There's going to be no Mohun Bagan East Bengal. What's the point of playing? That money, if I spend into my academy and imagine a world-class physiotherapy, we have a physiotherapy center, but a world-class physiotherapy center, a cryotherapy center. You have a world-class, we have a gym, but a world-class gym and world-class football pitches. Imagine if you can give that within 2 years and not play in the I-League. I-League, even if we had played and become champions, we would have been there only. If we would have come last, which Minerva does, so it comes either in the top one or comes ninth. So we could have been relegated. So instead of doing that, I rather do it in a way which makes more sense and logical, because it was never about selling the club at the top value. And by the way, that is why for all the entrepreneurs trying to understand how we did it, we made sure that, being honest with you, in India, everyone does not know Punjab FC. Everybody knows Minerva. And I have not sold Minerva. That's why before the season started, we changed the name from Minerva Academy to Minerva Punjab and then to Punjab FC. So by the end of it, making sure people are calling this club not Minerva Punjab FC, but Punjab FC. And that is what we have sold. Punjab FC Private Limited as a company. Minerva Academy FC is now registered as a football club with a proper CRS and CRS system with the Punjab Football Association. And we are going to be starting from scratch again. And it was never about earning a profit. It was all about making sure we get something out of it where we can make ourselves better. It's all about being better than what we were yesterday.
So staying on the topic of profits and business and selling the clubs, sir, in the West, in Europe, we have seen that several businessmen start a new club, make a brand value, and then sell them off to earn meaty profits. By any chance, will this be your model? Any plans of starting acquiring a new club?
See, no, not acquiring. I don't want to acquire any club. I don't want to ever pay for, see, paying for a club, even if you pay 5 lakhs for a club, or for example, if you want to get into the ISL, I can get into the ISL today if I pay what 100 crores for a club. When you pay for a club, my entire fight goes away. That means you should not be able to buy stuff like that. You should make it. And my aim is that if I have been able to get into the top league of the country, which was the I League, within 2 years of starting a club, I can do it again. And that will be value addition to Indian football. I'll tell you why. Because see, if I go and buy another club, I have just gone and bought an existing system. Whereas now what I have done is, the football was dead in Punjab, guaranteed after J City. Not only football has been revived, I was so happy this year, one of our junior leagues, we had to go outside to play because there were not enough teams. This year, for the first time, there were 4 or 5 teams in Punjab itself. We had a Punjab round, which was brilliant, and home and away matches with the Punjab teams. So that system has happened now. The football has been revived. Now we have a senior club, and Punjab FC with round glass, they're thinking of going into the ISL. So we have a system right from junior academies. We have 4 or 5 junior academies there doing very well. And then those boys in Punjab have something to look forward to. So imagine now if I open another club here, or in Haryana, or in Delhi, whatever, man, in this region, you need to boost up more chances of clubs. See, in Bengal, if you're a good Bengali, that means a good Bengali footballer, good footballer, Bengal, good Bengali footballer, you will definitely get a chance in Mohun Bagan or East Bengal or Mohammedan Sporting, or if not that, at least 20 other clubs who are playing in the Premier Division or Division 1 of CFL. So your life is settled. Whereas in Punjab, even if you were the best footballer in Punjab and we were not there, either you had to go to Bengal or go to Goa or go to Tamil Nadu and play in the Chennai League. And there, you think everybody got a chance? No. See, for example, in the Santosh Trophy, in the Calcutta League, you have Aryans. Aryans will not have 20 Punjabis in it. They will have 20 Bengalis and 2 Punjabis, 1 Punjabi. Same way East Bengal, same way Mohun Bagan. So you have 1 or 2 other places for these people, but most you have your own. So now Punjab has that. Punjab has a place for these junior footballers to look up. Okay, we will have a team in the I League. Minerva maybe is going to be in the 2nd division I League, and we'll have Punjab FC playing in the ISL. So there is a conveyor belt system, and now a top has been reached.
Thank you, sir. Sir, staying on the subject of Minerva, sir, in the last 5 years, we have seen that even me as a football fan, I did not know what Minerva was. But in the last 5 years, Minerva became a brand in Indian football. So what are your tips for brand management as far as a football club is concerned?
See, we made sure that that we always, from the very beginning, we had clarity on the brand. So, when entrepreneurs come in, they want to have a brand. They should not follow anyone else. They should not say, okay, we want to be like BFC is, okay? Or we want to do what Mohun Bagan or East Bengal is doing, get fans that way. No. You have to have something which people can identify you with. So we are identified as the factory and the producer of youth football. I am identified as a person who will say it like it is, even if it means saying it against the biggest names of, if it would rather be Praful Patel or even Nita Ambani or whoever it is. If it's there, I will say it without thinking about it. You have to know how the public perceives it. So if you're going to start jumping on other people's bandwagons and trying to make a brand, it's not going to happen. So you've got to pick out something which you think is the right thing for yourself and focus on it. And then stay true to that. You can't keep on changing ships every single day. You have to stay true to your belief and your stand, because fans in India are very, very intelligent. They'll smell you and sniff you out if you're a fraud from 2 kilometers away, that this guy just talks and he's got nothing to back it up. So you should only talk when you've got stuff to back it up. Then people will listen to you, and people will listen to you if you're honest. If I have seen so many people trying to do so many fancy things, but they're not honest to themselves and they're not honest to the fans. The moment I'd rather be honest to my fans than spend a crore of on doing PR. That means, like you asked me in before the session, sir, are there any questions which you would not like to take, or are there any things which you don't want to keep on the table? And I made sure I told you no, not at all. That's the main point. I want to be able to hear to be answer every single question which comes to me. So, and that is the brand of being Minerva. Being Minerva is being honest, being true, and being loyal to your country.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being so frank with all of us, our company, our viewers. Thank you so much for that. We would like to really thank our audience for all their questions. Mr. Bajaj will be shortly answering your questions in our audience interaction sections. I would like to take this opportunity once again to welcome you all to Indian Football Business, a growing industry brought to you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group. And at the same time, I would like to remind you that we will have the soft launching of the Indian Football Business Awards through this webinar session. And we will have the actual award ceremony in December 2020 in Kolkata, of course. Sir, we know we had asked for 1 hour with you, but it's not every day that a lot of people get a chance to speak to Mr. Ranjit Bajaj. So if you could kindly, sir, bear with us for a few more questions. Is it okay with you, sir?
Perfectly fine. I'm here for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, moving on to the next question. Sir, in your early days, and this is also like everyone knows you in Indian football, there's no denying that, but there are a lot of things that people don't know about you. So, in your early days, you did play football at a pretty high level. Not many people know that. Now, to what I want to ask you is that, and this is extensively asked to people who are from a playing career and then shift on to something else. Sir, what is it that gives you the more enjoyment, the more satisfaction? Is it playing football in your early days, or is it now that you're running a club, running an academy? What is it?
Very tough question. See, different kinds of feelings. Again, when you play football and you won as a team or you did well, it was a very individual kind of satisfaction. See, and that's the kind of satisfaction I'm also getting from when I win I-League titles. But I realized that there is a bigger satisfaction when you do it and the whole world cheers with you. And the only way I've seen it happening is not by doing stuff for your club, it's for doing stuff for your country. And I've seen that when I produce players for the country, the whole country celebrates with me. And that is one of the main things which I have found from my football journey, which is going to carry me all throughout my life, because now my aims are very, very different. The other part of the question was?
So the other part of the question was that when you're looking forward to do what you're doing.
When I was a player, yeah, okay. When I was a player,
and now that you're doing your job as a owner and as a running of the club, all these matters.
I have played for India under 19s in the Asian School Games, and some of the boys who were with me, like people don't know, the Mohun Bagan current goalkeeping coach was my teammate in the under 19 Indian team. So Dipankar Chatterjee, who's the current coach of Mohun Bagan, and people like Sangram Mukherjee, Bijen Singh, they were all in my team. Then after that, this was when I was at the age of 18, 19 playing for India. I played Santosh Trophy then. Then when I came back from England at 34, 35, when I wanted to start this club, I came back at around 24, 25, but till 31, 32 in the corporate world. 32, I started playing football again. And it was more to prove to myself that I can play. I started playing within 1 year. I was in the Santosh Trophy team of Chandigarh. When I was 34, we played Santosh Trophy for Chandigarh again. And that is what gave me my thing that these boys, we've reached the quarterfinals. We said, okay, fine. If these Chandigarh boys can do so much against the best boys in the world, I mean, in India, they need a platform. That's where the idea came from. So in my second division team, there were 8, 9 boys who were in the Chandigarh Santosh Trophy team playing under me when I was a captain. So it was just a transformation from there. Now, as a player, when I was playing with them and winning, and in a club when I'm playing with them, it's a much different thing. You really enjoy yourself as a player, and in the dressing room, it's a different kind of a feeling. It's not, you can't compare it to ever managing or owning a team. But now, if you are actually looking at producing players, that is what gives me more love and more joy than actually even playing. But playing for India, nothing ever can compare to that feeling. When I was wearing that India blazer and we were in the march past, and I still remember I got goosebumps all over myself because I was wearing the India blazer, and it's something which I would still consider one of the proudest moments of my life.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the audience are learning a lot from your experiences. Sir, we all know that you have been quite vociferous in voicing your concerns about how football is being run in this country at this moment. So, hypothetically, if Mr. Ranjit Bajaj gets a chance to run football in this country, how will he do it?
It's not it's not tough at all. People say it's a very tough job. I think it's not. If you know what to focus on, they are focusing on the wrong things. They are trying to make money from our coaches, which I think is pathetic. When I say that, what they're trying to make money from the coaches is, like, for example, you need to be a C license from a D license. D license costs you around 20,000 rupees. C license will cost you around 40. B license will cost you around 80 to 1 lakh. And A license costs you around 2.5 lakhs. How many coaches in India do you think can afford to even? It's not about getting the license. It's about giving that exam. It will cost you that much. Doesn't matter if you pass or fail. How many coaches in India can you think, forget about A license, can go for B or C license? And if you can't go for C or B license, how can you expect them to get a good job? So unless you are earning 40,000 to 80,000 rupees a month in India, I would not consider it to be a good career. Uh, if you want to, if you're single, it's okay, perfect. But unless, if you have to earn at least 30 to 40,000 to make sure you're running your family. That means your family, your kids, your parents, you're looking after them. You can do that. But how can you do that unless you get a job worth that? But you can't get a job worth that unless you have the B license or a C license. So what do? That means the coach is stuck for the rest of his life just doing D license and not even having the guts कि चलो मैं आज C license के लिए try करता हूँ, knowing that अगर मैं fail हो गया तो मेरी एक महीने की salary जो मैं miss करूँगा because I'll be in the C license, that is gone, plus that 40,000 rupees fees that is gone, and people will think that I'm not even good as a C license. So what I would suggest is, instead of trying to make money from the coaches, it should all be merit based. You should be able to get your A license for 5,000 rupees. Subsidy should be by the AIFF. Stop spending meeting on samosas and bloody meetings, man. They have spent 70 crore rupees in the last 10 years on just meetings. I'm just amazed at the budget allocation of these guys. And there is no guy who does proper auditing also. So if I get into it, it'll definitely be towards the coaching side. That means making sure. Imagine if India has 50,000 B licensed coaches. That means my juniors at the lowest level in the grassroots, you don't need to develop football. If you have a B licensed coach in your school, he will develop football for you. But if you in your school have a grassroots development officer who has done a one-day course in football, and he can't go above because he can't afford it, you are making sure football does not succeed. The same way for clubs, you're making sure that new clubs don't want to come up. New academies don't want to come up. Like something known as solidarity fees. That means there is a small, I'm giving you an example. There is a coach in Manipur who in a small village, he runs his own academy, and he's 50, 55. I can name at least 7 players who have played for India who have come from that academy. That means they started playing football at the age of 5, 6, and 7, or 8, 9, and 10 at his academy. Somebody stayed for 6 months, somebody stayed for 1 year, somebody stayed for 2 years, but they started it off there. That coach was responsible for making sure that those guys started playing football. But They've all got multi-crore contracts with ISL teams. How much money has gone down to that coach? Zero. What happens is, like for example, Vikram Pratap. Vikram Pratap was with CFA for 2 years, then with Minerva for 3 years. Vikram Pratap was with AIFF Arrows for 1 year. That means as their player officially. And they have just now sold him for crores to some ISL team. So what does Minerva get for keeping him for 3 years and training him, or CFA get for 2 years? Zero. Why would people open academies? Why would people want to develop players? When you know that the moment the player becomes good, if it's happening with Minerva, it's happening with every bloody club there. Every club is losing out good players to other clubs because there is no solidarity fees in India. Now, what solidarity fees means is that suppose, I'm giving an example, suppose I have an Anwar Ali Junior. And Anwar Ali Junior tomorrow goes on to play for an ISL club. His fee of 1 crore rupees, which will be paid to his last academy, maybe it's Minerva. Out of that, Minerva will pay 5% for every year he has spent in different academies. So suppose someone has spent 2 years in an academy there, out of 5 crores, I pay 5 lakhs to that guy. Another academy who spent 2 more years, another 5 lakhs. So imagine the money trickles down. Whereas in ISL or in the top league of the country, there is no money trickling down ever. The fifth division in England, fourth division, third division, second division is running. Why? Not because people want to watch it or there's television money. Yes, people want to watch it, but there's no television money. But the Premier League deals, which is worth billions of dollars, they trickle down to the fifth division. So there is nothing known as trying to keep alive. They make because they understand if you don't have a strong fifth division, you will not have strong fourth division. Or then if you don't have a strong fourth division, not a strong third division, or a strong third division, or a strong first, second division, and it goes on. So if there is no strong second division and 2 clubs from there are relegated, the next 2 clubs who go in can last for 1 year because they don't have the money, nobody supported them. Unless this money, which suppose ISL clubs, top clubs get 5 crores a year and help, 50 lakhs should go to second division, 5 lakhs should go to third division, 50,000 should go to fourth division, 5,000 should go to fifth division clubs. That means fifth division मतलब जो तुम्हारे घर में जो हमारे मोहल्लों में क्लब है 6 aside 7 aside clubs उनको भी पैसे पहुंचने चाहिए चाहे उनको 5,000 रुपए मिले बट मिलने चाहिए क्यों क्योंकि उनकी वजह से एक लड़का आया है जो आजकल आईएसएल खेल रहा है और वो पैसा उनकी वजह से आया so it should go down right to the bottom. Imagine if that starts happening, and yes, if I was there I would have made sure this happens. Then you encourage more and more people at the grassroots to automatically start playing football. Because you see that even if somebody does well there, the money trickles down to us, man. It's not only the rich making the money, everybody gets a share.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure a lot of coaches, a lot of academy owners will agree with you, whatever you have said. So now moving from the running of the football in the country to the difference in the leagues. We all know that now we have 2 leagues in this country, the ISL and the I League. Firstly, which do you think is the better competition of the two, only in terms of quality of football? Secondly, we have seen over the past 5-6 years that ISL has lasted, that ISL has discovered several players who maybe were unheard of, have come into the national scene, played for the national team, done well. So don't you think that the ISLs in a way can help Indian football grow?
See, I have nothing against ISL. I think ISL has done so much for this country, which the I League could not do ever. That means we were dying for having world-class stadiums and world-class facilities and world-class pitches and world-class coverage. We've been given that by the ISL. But saying that ISL has given new players to the country is not right. ISL has given 0 players to the country. Okay, you will say, what about Samad? Samal was playing in the UAE in some junior academy there. He was not made from an ISL academy, by the way. Same way, every player who's playing in the ISL right now, every single player has been either from an I League academy or from I League. So suppose there is no I League. Again, you have to have selling clubs. Then there have to be buying clubs. There has to be Wigans and there have to be Leicesters for Man U's and Man City's and Liverpool's to do well. Otherwise, they'll all try to buy from each other who will produce the players. Same way, the difference in the leagues is not too much. Why? Because what matters is results. And in pre-season, they play and we play. This year, we lost to FC Goa by 1 goal because Dika had missed a penalty. Otherwise, we would have gone to Goa and drawn with them 3-3. Before that, we just came off a 1-0 victory of Bangalore in Bellary, in Bangaluru's home. So it's not that we can't compete. The same way Leicester can compete with Man City and 100th or 150th the budget. We can compete with Bangalore or with ATK or with anyone. No problem. The level of football again is not different at all. In fact, I was surprised at that. You know, thinking that if a player is getting a salary of $50,000 and a player is getting a salary of $5,000, there has to be some kind of, you know, visible difference. Okay, it can't be Messi and somebody, but at least visible difference. But visible difference is not there. So is it something which ISL clubs are doing wrong? Are they doing wrong scouting, or are the players not good enough? Yes, you find people like Roy Krishna coming out. One of them was world class, but you see the amount of money you're paying Roy Krishna. And you see all the other players who are playing in the ISL, the difference is not that much. And obviously, the difference in the Indians is zero. The difference in the Indians playing in the I-League and ISL is zero. That is why I have this dream of having one league. I'm not saying I-League is better, but I'm not saying ISL is better as well. Where football is concerned, you need clubs who are really strong, and you need clubs who are not that strong. That's what makes the game so beautiful. That means when the upsets are when you have a huge club, suppose in 20 years, Bangalore or Mohun Bagan or East Bengal, whatever, are a champion in the top league for 5 years or 6 years, and they are the main teams to watch out for. And then a new team called some Chitkara FC comes in and goes and beats Mohun Bagan. That is what beautiful game is all about. Unless you have small clubs and big clubs in the same league, there's no point of playing football.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, we have come to the end of our normal questions. So we would like to bring in Soham at this point of time, and he would conduct the audience interaction sessions where you will be answering some of the questions from our viewers. Soham, if you could kindly help our guest with the questions, and sir, if you could kindly answer him.
Thank you so much, Indra.
Thank you, Indra. Thank you so much. And Soham, let's go on.
Thank you so much, sir, for so graciously answering all the questions that we have for you. Sir, starting off with the question from my side, before we start off with the audience questions. Sir, what is your idea about our Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group? What do you think about our company?
I started off this webinar by saying that we need to have more of these. In fact, Ideas Unlimited Sports Management has done stuff earlier also, which no one in this country was doing. They are bringing the right kind of stuff to the right kind of people. That means this webinar is reaching so many people, and it's got so many different speakers with so many different expertise levels. At this time when, you know, these guys, all the people in India in football world cannot go anywhere and look for stuff, we have such a vast knowledge center available for you by Ideas Unlimited Sports Management. It's brilliant. Then the awards you guys are doing is also a great idea, because hardly you have time when, awards where you reward the people behind the scene, reward the people who are actually putting in the hard work but never get recognition for it. So what you do by that is you promote more hard work by people behind the scenes. Otherwise, you know, they kind of, you know, say, okay, fine, man, we never get the appreciation and somebody else does. So it's a great idea. In fact, if this should become a regular feature, I'm sure one day we'll be talking about the Indian Football Business Awards to be one of the best and biggest touted awards in India.
Godspeed to that, sir. Sir, your thoughts on getting recently it was declared that our jury has announced that you have been conferred with the Football Entrepreneur of the Decade award at the Indian Football Business Award. So your thoughts and feelings on that?
It's such a great honor. Then I'm so thankful to Ideas Sports Ideas Unlimited Sports Management and Sanjay sir, and also all the staff there. You guys are doing a great job, and I'm really thankful that you have thought that I'm good enough to get this honor. I'm really humbled. And the football and entrepreneur of the decade, I could not even have thought of getting 2 years ago, because 2 years ago I was actually with a begging bowl trying to beg people for money. But that's what teaches you. If you don't give up, not only will you get your dreams one day, but not only will you get your dreams, but you'll actually be able to show people that if you follow your passion and you don't give up to your true ideals, you will succeed.
Nobody is more worthy of you than the honor, sir. It's really kind of you. Sir, now we'll jump to the audience questions. We have been flooded with a lot of questions in our inboxes and the Google Meet chat box. I'm just trying to randomly pick some of the best. So this question is from Shanchan Pal. He says that how do you scout teams for your academy? Do you start off with local talents and then gradually go to cities and states, or do you scout from other states due to the lack of participation from local talent?
So see, our scouting system at the factory is known as the India's best, because I would call it India's best. Why? Because in 2 years we were able to scout people which entire federation, All India Football Federation, had not done, and we were able to put up a team, under-17 team, which beat the Indian under-17 World Cup team, which had gone on a tour of 20 countries and 20 crores was spent on them. Then our under-15 team with the Indian under-15 team. So they came to, they asked us, how do we do the scouting and how are we able to get boys? Because see, they were not all Punjab boys. They were boys from all over India, especially from the Northeast. What I told them was that we are not like other clubs that, again, see, revenue source for clubs is going to different places and doing these scouting things and charging an entry fee or registration fee of 100 rupees or 200 rupees or 500 rupees or whatever. If you do that, you already cut down 90% of the people who want to come to you. Why? Because if you have an 8-year-old or a 9 or 10 or under 13, 12-year-old, which 12-year-old have you seen? I mean, when I used to be 12, I never used to have 100, 200 bucks in my pocket. So you're going to the remotest corners of India and you're expecting people to just come to give 200 rupees for a 20-minute trial is very, very unfair. So we make sure not only don't do that, it's totally free, but also we go to every district of every state we want to cover. If you go to the capital, that's what everybody does. You need to go to the furthest region. In Manipur, in Meghalaya, in Mizoram, in Bengal, we make sure we go to the remotest areas. Like in Manipur, we covered every district of Manipur. That's what we did in Mizoram. And when I say in Meghalaya, when I say every district, each district is 8 to 10 to 12 hours away from the other district. And we get 20 boys in the trial. Whereas if you go, suppose to Imphal, this year, we got 3,500 boys when we did the trial earlier in the year for the 13, 15, 18s. 3,500 boys. And you go to Imphal, one small corner, you get 20 boys. You probably will not find anybody, but you might just find anybody. And if you find that one person, it's all worth it. So you need to go to areas which other people don't go to. And even AIFF doesn't do that. So, and we've shown that, but see, I'm letting my secrets out. I'm telling everybody, the whole world, how to scout, how to get sponsorship, because we need 100 Minervas. We need 100 factories if we want to actually be world champions. Otherwise, you can keep dreaming and not doing, and we're never going to achieve anything.
Fantastic, sir. So the next question is also very interesting. So someone says that, have you thought of any tie-up with any foreign academies like the famous Academy of La Masia, like the famous Academy of Ajax, or any foreign academy have you thought of tying up with?
We had a tie-up with Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is one of the best German clubs, one of the oldest German clubs. But, when you have tie-ups with foreign, and I've learned that over the last 5 years, when you have tie-ups with foreign clubs and academies, they have only one. one reason to be in India: money. I have not seen any club or foreign club or academy come into India and say that we want to actually develop football. They all want to say that how do we increase our revenue? How do we make these guys wear Man U shirts which cost $5,000 a shirt? How do we sell that? So it's unless you have somebody who does that and comes in with a mission that okay, we take it on ourselves to make sure that India qualifies for the World Cup or something like that. That's the right way to go. But what do? So it's not that we don't take help from them. We take our boys to exposure tours to them. Yeah, they want to make money, but coming here and taking our money away from boys who should be giving to our academies and making us grow. These teams come, foreign academies come, they set up centers here, they take up all the money away from which should come to a local academy, they take it, and then they go abroad, and then they go and pay that money to a Messi, so that Messi can go and play for them. That's the wrong way. If you want to actually use these academies and foreign academies, we should take tours to them and play against their teams and go and beat them in their home. That's when we show them what Indians are capable of. And you'll see it happening. You'll see it happening within the next 2 years. Once my first batch of 6, 7, 8-year-olds touches 9, they're going to start their first foreign tours and they'll be playing against the best teams in the world.
Yeah, sure. So the next question is from Abhishek Kumar. He says that where do Indian coaches stand with respect to their overseas counterparts?
Excuse me.
Can I repeat the question?
One.
Yeah, so Abhishek Kumar says that where do Indian coaches stand in respect to the overseas counterparts? Like, where do Indian coaches stand in comparison to the famous overseas coaches?
Bro, I think that India should start promoting Indian coaches more because we really don't trust them. We really don't think that they can do much. Yes, if you keep on trying to go for coaches who are above 60, 65, 70 years old, why? Because experience ही सिर्फ उनके पास है. Experience juniors के पास आएगा कैसे? Like last two, when we won the title, Sachin Badade was a coach who had come to me as a C license and he was the head coach of my under 18 team. And I saw him practicing with my under 18 team and I saw him that this guy deserves to be in the senior, practicing with the senior team already. This coach is that good. But because, by the way, he is like our Prime Minister Modi. He has a shop of selling tea. So, he actually left that a guaranteed income and came to coaching. Coming to coaching without having any backup, knowing that if I fail, I'm dead, my family is no good because I have shut my shop, which was running for 40 years. That guy showing that kind of passion, this is the kind of people you need to promote. Promoting him, we won the I-League, man. I would give him most of the credit for winning the I-League. He is that good a coach. He got it out of the boys. Same way, this year, Yan Law, 26-year-old A-license coach. He used to be playing for India and he used to be playing, I think he's Sanju Pradhan's batch, same batch, or 1 year junior to him. Playing for India, got an injury till the under 19, 20 age and started doing his coaching licenses. He became the youngest ever A-license coach. So now one thing was that he keeps on experience nahi hai yaar, isko pehle experience lenge do. Experience kaun dega isko? Every person who was saying ye to bahut chota hai yaar, ye to bahut young hai. But now because I have done this and he has proven to the world that Yan Law is a great coach, we've come second or third, whatever second, joint second with East Bengal. And we were fighting for the first position from the very beginning with Mohan Bagan. With again the lowest budget there is. And again we changed the actually style of Punjab football. Punjab football was known as the long ball football. No one can say ever now that Punjab football is a long ball football game. Playing the possession-based game, talking about half spaces, talking about inverted fullbacks. That only comes from a young coach. Now imagine he's got this experience now. And he has 3, 4 more, 5 years more of experience in the top level. So you have a 30-year-old who has got 5 years experience in the top league already. Imagine now that guy can become the Indian coach and how long and how far he can take India.
Thank you so much, sir, for your opinion. Sir, there's one question from Swagatam Mishra. He says that your advice on improving the condition of rural football and tapping talents from there.
See, again, getting people interested. So just by mission 11 million and giving one football is not good enough. You need to give them the right coaches. And that right coaches will come when you go and give, see, if you have a grassroots officer, you've got to make sure he develops to an A license coach. You can't just say, okay, जिसने grassroots बनना grassroots बन जाओ, अगला C license खोल दिया, C license के लिए आ जाओ. चलो जी, out of 20,000 grassroots, only 1,000 people have applied to be D licenses. Why? Where the hell are the 19,000 gone? Then out of the C licenses, 1,000 only 100 have applied to be B licenses. Why? Where have the 900 gone? Why have they not applied? They're not applied because it's too expensive, man. If you make sure that we have 5,000 coaches in every state B license, that's what your aim should be. If AFF does that, we will go really, really far. That just all comes down to that, man. Have good coaches and good coaches right at the basics where you have kids starting football.
So the last question would be from Aviz Hashmi. He says, what does it take to sustain an academy for a longer period of time?
See, just one thing, passion and love. See, because I tell you, and obviously hard work. Passion will take you there. Hard work keeps you going. But whenever you fail, passion makes sure that you keep working hard. So without both the things, passion and hard work, you will not reach anywhere. But if you have both the things, you have passion and love for the game, and you have unrelenting and just stop thinking about anything else and just working hard towards your goal, nothing can stop you, man. You just have to believe in yourself.
On that note, so much, sir. Thank you to our viewers who have typed in so many questions. I'm extremely sorry I couldn't take all of your questions. Thank you so much, Ranjit sir, for your time. Really honored. Trust me, I'm really honored to be doing this session with you. It was really a.
Just want to say one last thing, guys. Please, everyone.
Sir, excuse me, Soham, if I can come in here.
Yeah,
Is it fine? Yeah. Hello, sir. Before we let you go, there is one question. If you could please bear with us, one single question. And that is, we all are in the middle of a horrific pandemic. It's been affecting us very much, and it has affected all walks of life. So, what do you think? How will COVID-19 affect Indian football, and how to cope up with it? Sir, your audio has been muted. If you could please switch it on. Just click on the screen. Yeah, it's fine.
See, it's $1 million question. It's a really good question. Now, I would really like to take this opportunity to make sure that everybody keeps safe. Like great Prime Minister says, "Jaan hai to jahan hai." बिल्कुल ठीक बात है. जान है तो तभी football खेलेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं football खेल सकते. But as good things are coming now, you'll see that Germany is starting the Bundesliga on the 9th May, and you'll see other countries now with Germany doing that, starting to doing the same. So I was really afraid that, oh my God, what's going to happen to football? But if Germany, which is such an advanced and logical country, I mean, doesn't just go on passion, it goes on logic as well. They are finding it okay to play football in a closed environment. It just shows that, yes, okay, sports is not dead. Football is not dead. It's going to start in the middle of the worst pandemic ever. So the future is not, people are talking about all gloom and gloom. It's not all gloom and gloom. And in fact, I think we'll come out stronger. A lot of price corrections will take place. A lot of salaries which had gone through the roof of a lot of players, that will be brought down. It'll make it more, I think it will not make it less viable, but this will make it more viable for people to run clubs, because you'll see that salaries are now going to come down.
That was very insightful, sir. So finally, with this, we have come to the end of our second session. We had a morning session today with Mr. Alvito Dicuna, and now we have...
Before everyone goes, I would like to just say that it's been great to do this. In fact, I think we've been on almost for 2 hours, and it's been brilliant. And Ideas Unlimited Sports Management has done a great job in doing this, and I hope that you guys keep doing it. My support will always be there for you guys, especially for your Football Business Awards as well. to the rest of the country, I would like to say that Minerva is not going anywhere. We are the factory and we'll remain the factory for producing the best talent Indian football has. But my main aim now, guys, is to make sure we in our lifetime see not only India qualify for the World Cup, but bloody thrash other countries in the World Cup. So the aim is just not to qualify for it. Now, by the age of 19, 20, 21, you see my boys playing very well in the Asian Cup and probably qualify at the age of 23, 24 for the World Cup, or by 38. But trust me, we're going to get there, and that's my promise.
To all our viewers, I would like to let you know that we will be back tomorrow again from 5 p.m. The topic for our discussion would be women's football development leadership. And to be speaking on that, we will have with us Kalpana Das. She is the project development officer of Chennai FC, an AFC A license coach, and the current head coach of Khekde FC, Indian Women's League team based out of Mumbai. She will be our guest speaker. Till then, take care, stay safe, everyone. And lastly, once again, thank you so much, Mr. Bajaj, for giving us your time. You are a great sport. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Jai Hind, guys. Jai Hind. Love you all. Keep safe.
Jai Hind, sir.
मीटिंग में नहीं है मैं इसमें नहीं होगी नहीं कौन माइक्रोफोन ऑन है Oh, wow, wow, wow.